Welcome back to the Distressed Princess. I'm Rhonda. I hope you guys have been waiting for a super fun video because this one has it all. My inspiration this week comes from the good old Dollar General store, and the stuff is so stinking cute that it has flown off the shelves. It's out of stock. Even my best friend on her lunch hour went and almost bought them out. So what do we do when that happens? We make our own, of course. Now you'll see at Walmart that they have this color shift paint that would be really nice to use for these kinds of projects. However, these paints are $4.27 a bottle. So a more economical way is to get the iridescent medium that is $4 and something for this giant thing. And you can mix that into any acrylic paint and that gives it the iridescent color. Now, this came from the Dollar Tree. It is $5. It's a mist maker. They've had it out for the last couple of years. This is the first one I've actually purchased, and I'm really pretty impressed. It changes color and everything. It's really cute. So I'm painting it up with a mixture of purple and the iridescent medium. It's going to take about 3 coats to cover this black cauldron. I was a little bit undecided on what color I wanted the goo coming out and bubbling over to be. And so at first I thought pink, and I mixed some glitter in with the pink, and the pink is mixed up iridescent too. But the glitter wasn't glittering enough for me in the paint, and I'm usually not a big glitter girl. Now the feet of the cauldron I painted with gold paint. Now back to the bubbling over, which really looks cute pink. You can leave it pink, but I really wanted it to be sparkly, and I wanted it to have glitter. I didn't want the glitter to be the kind of glitter that's going to fall off all over the place. So I put a lot of Mod Podge with my glitter, and I sealed it with hairspray. I don't think I recorded the part where I sealed the glitter with hairspray, but that's a tip. If you do use glitter, you can seal it with a clear sealant or a hairspray or something so it doesn't just fall all over and make a mess. Next up, I'm using these little potion bottles. They're real glass from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to make Pixie potions. Now, if you hate glitter, this is the last one that has glitter in it, I promise. The rest of them are glitter-free projects. So this is not the kind of glitter, though, that's super fine. I wanted the ones that had the little shapes and kind of confetti-like. So that's the kind of glitter I picked up from the Dollar Tree. I just put them in these little potion bottles, and then I dressed them up. And to dress them up, I just used some little doodads off of some children's jewelry that I have had just for a long time. Isn't that little ghost cute? So I wrapped the top of the bottles with really pretty embroidery floss and added the doodads, and that's it. Oh wait, I did hot glue the little corks in so they don't go flying off if you want to shake your little Pixie potion bottles. Now let's transform a jack-o'-lantern. Now you may already have one of these light up jack-o'-lanterns. I had to buy one. This was $8 at the Dollar General store, but the light inside is really perfect for this project because it changes colors. So it goes through purples and blues and all the colors. So I've mixed up some pink paint with the iridescent medium. And again, it's going to take about 3 coats, drying in between each coat, and then you will have a pearlescent pink jack-o'-lantern. Then I took a smaller paintbrush and I went inside the cutouts with an aqua blue acrylic paint, not mixed with any iridescent, just right out of the bottle. Then I painted the stem with a dark purple color. Then I dressed her up with some bows that you get in the gift wrapping section of Dollar Tree. I picked purple, but they have blue and pink. You pick the ones you like. This is so much fun. And they come with these adhesive backs, but tear those right off because that's not going to stick to our surface. So you're going to use hot glue to attach these. I made 2 little buns and she's so stinking cute. The only thing she was missing was ribbons in her hair. So then I made 2 bows to go with the buns and lit her up. Look how adorable. When I went looking for supplies for this video, I picked up these 2 skirts from the Dollar Tree because they had these iridescents to them and I didn't know how I would use them, but I wound up using them over a canvas. So I'm making some wall art with this canvas from the Dollar Tree and I need to disassemble the skirt and I'm going to try to preserve everything intact so you can just cut, but I tried to save the elastic at the top for other projects. So now we have this pretty iridescent piece of material that I'm going to use to put over the canvas to give it that iridescent pearlized look that everything else has. I removed the hanger from the back, but it's going to come back at the end so it can still be a hang-up thing. And then I stretched this material tightly and used a staple gun to staple it all around. It really does give a cool effect to this canvas. Next, I grabbed this garland of ghost from Walmart, which I think was cheaper than Dollar Tree for what you get. And I am going to use one of the ghosts to cover up the disco ball. However, he's not quite big enough. So then I grabbed some self-adhesive glitter paper, also from the Dollar Tree, cut it down to size, and now I have something for the ghost to have a background. Then I decided I would make it kind of fancy, and I got my fancy cutting scissors and did a scalloped edge. These are not the best quality scissors. I think they came from Dollar Tree, so it was kind of a rough go, but I made it work anyway. By this point, my boys were really wanting to be fed, so I had to pause for the little ones. So now I'm doing some paper crafting to fancy this ghost up. I wanted there to be a pennant, so I cut out a pennant out of some scrapbooking paper that was white. I wrapped it around a paper straw from the Dollar Tree. I'm using foam stickers to spell out boo and this sparkly headband that I got at the Dollar Tree. So first I hot glued my ghost down and then I assembled my pennant. I thought that the headband would be made of plastic that would just snap if you tried to break it, but it doesn't. And so I got out my wire cutters and my scissors to cut the remaining little strands. And I'm cutting a piece down to size that will be glued right in the center of the back of the pennant, and that way the pretty little sparkly things come out all the edges of the pennant. And then I went a little extra and used some embroidery thread. I used the 3 matching colors and I twisted them all up and I hot glued them all around the edge just to be a little fancier. Then I hot glued the whole thing to the canvas. Then I thought it was missing something, so I added a pink wooden bead to the top, and then I felt like it was pretty good. You'll notice that my boo is different colors than what it started out with. I had some problems I had to redo, and it all got nasty, but same results in the end. Next, I'm making a little boo buddy out of some of this pink self-adhesive foam. I think it came from Walmart. They had such cute pastel colors, and I cut out this ghosty shape just freehand, but if you need to, you can use some sort of a cutout to trace around. Anybody can make a ghost. And then, of course, self-adhesive. I used the backing to stick it on. So this is a little baby ghost, I feel like, that's cheering at a football game or something. And it's going to have a bow, so I cut out some of that iridescent material to make a bow. I haven't stuck it down yet because I wanted the placement of the eyes, which I've drawn in with an acrylic marker. I wanted the placement of the bow to go with the eyes. So I glued that on last and replaced the hanger in the back. If you have been waiting for the disco ball ghost, here she is. She's made out of a paper towel holder from the Dollar Tree, and you could use a foam ball attached to the top of this for the head, but I didn't have one, so I'm using an aluminum foil ball. The part of the ghost that's going to hold the disco ball is this little box from the Dollar Tree. I thought I could use magnets to just hold it to the metal of the paper towel holder. That didn't work. So now I'm doing a glob of hot glue and let it dry thoroughly. And it works. Then I wanted some color underneath of the ghost because there's going to be cheesecloth on top. So these are the skirts, the blue and purple material, and then I layered cheesecloth on top of that, and it's, yeah, it looks like a mess, but just layer, layer, layer. I thought I wanted some iridescent on the top, but that didn't work out, so it's just cheesecloth. The disco ball is kind of heavy. It's from the Dollar Tree. That's why you got to go through all these measures to make sure that it can be supported. If you had a lighter weight one, you wouldn't have to do all this. You could probably just glue it right to the ghost. So then after I had my disco ball all glued in place, then I did some trimming around. And yeah, she kind of looks like a old lady in a rocking chair from a side view. But from the front, she looks pretty stinking adorable. I gave her some blue foam eyes, but I thought they didn't pop quite enough, so then I made some purple to go inside, and I liked that a lot better. And finally, what I'm calling the sock lamp. This little light can be picked up at the Dollar Tree. It's plastic, but it's bright, and it makes a really pretty design when it's put together. But I'm covering it up with these knee-high socks. I got these at Dollar Tree. I just had to use these socks in some project. They were so stinking cute. So I stick the light cover down into the socks so that it's going to cover. I cut off the top and the bottom. I glue them in place. Then I replace the bottom, which I have now painted aqua blue mixed with the iridescent medium. And now it's pretty cute when it's lit up too. I wanted there to be a ruffle. There's going to be a jack-o'-lantern sitting on top. I wanted there to be a ruffle underneath. And so I'm using what's left of my iridescent material, and I'm pleating it and hot gluing it all around the edge of the top. And then I hot glued this jack-o'-lantern that came from the Dollar General for only $1. So what do you think of the pinks and pastels and sickeningly sweet things for Halloween? I really like them. I think they're adorable. I would have went crazy for this stuff when I was a kid. And I think it's just darling. Have a happy Saturday, folks, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.